so I'm talking about the Chiari malformations. So Chiari malformations, why I picked this topic is because this is very important topic also, and it is very confusing topic also. So first of all, we all know that yeah, there is one and two. Okay, so forget about that one and two. First, you have to understand that this Chiari malformations are actually classified on the basis of anatomy, not on the basis of cause. Okay, so for the, it's not the cause, it is the anatomy. Okay, so when do we say that it is a Chiari 1 and when do we say that it is a Chiari 2, and how to remember what is Chiari 1 and what is Chiari 2? Okay, so let's see Chiari 1. Okay, 1 is 1. Okay, so there is only one structure that you can remember, which is herniating, and that is your cerebellar pedunculus. Oh, sorry, there is only one structure which is herniating, that is a cerebellar tonsils. And Chiari 2 is two structures, that is the tonsil, cerebellar tonsils plus medulla. That is a part of brainstem. So basically, the cerebellum plus brainstem, you can remember, and here only cerebellum. Okay, so this is how we can, like, in short, we can remember. Okay, actually with the tonsils you have vermis also, but just I want to tell you that it's cerebellum plus brainstem, so two. Okay, that is how we can remember. Okay, so actually it is on the basis of anatomy, it is not on the basis of cause. So whenever the cerebellar tonsils are herniating, only the cerebellar tonsils are herniating, then it's Chiari 1 malformation, and when the medulla also herniates, then we call it as Chiari 2 malformation. Okay, Chiari 2 is also known as Arnold Chiari. So Arnold Chiari, can remember that two words. Okay, so Chiari 2 is Arnold Chiari. Okay, now let's see the causes. So Chiari 1 malformation is mainly because of the small, there is no place basically. The posterior fossa is small posterior fossa, is because of the small posterior fossa. So there is no space for these cerebellar tonsils, they become very crowded, so that is why they herniate. Okay, through the, they are pushed, so they are pushed down the foramen magnum, so it's because of small posterior fossa, there is no space, there's a space problem. Okay, now sometimes it is also because of too much of LP drainage. Okay, but this is the acquired cause. Okay, this is the acquired cause, and small posterior fossa is the congenital cause. Now this is not very severe, so it can present later also, can present late also. Okay, it's not necessary that it will present at birth, it can present late also. But Chiari 2 malformation is actually problematic because here we have the brain stem also herniating through the foramen magnum. So this herniation of brain stem is going to cause your apnea. Okay, so that is why this is very severe and life threatening. So this will present at birth. Okay, now why is this happening? Chiari 2 malformation, what is the cause? So cause is actually myelomeningocele. Okay, so this Chiari 2 malformation, why it is happening, what is the cause? So it is the myelomeningocele. So what is happening in this myelomeningocele? There is a CSF leak, okay, through the myelomeningocele. So this CSF leak is going to decrease the CSF pressure, and it will pull the cerebellar tonsils and the medulla through the foramen magnum. So it will herniate through the foramen magnum. Okay, so the cause is myelomeningocele. The cause is myelomeningocele. Okay, so this is because the medulla is involved, that is why this is severe and it presents at birth. Okay, so associated factors is myelomeningocele, then you have the spina bifida also. These are the associated abnormalities with Arnold Chiari malformation. And with Chiari 1, the associated malformation is your syringomyelia. Now this syringomyelia is actually a consequence. It's a consequence of the Chiari 1 malformation. So Chiari 1 malformation main cause is the no space in the posterior fossa, small posterior fossa, that is pushing the tonsils down, and that is going to obstruct. Okay, it's going to obstruct the CSF flow. Okay, and that is why the CSF dilatation. Okay, in your that is a fluid filled syrinx in your cervical spine canal. So that is your syringomyelia. So we'll just see what is syringomyelia also, because that is also an important concept. So this syringomyelia, because the cervical spine is affected, so it will cause a cervical myelopathy. So there will be a cape-like distribution of loss of sensation of mainly pain and temperature. because these pain and temperature fibers are around that cervical canal. Okay, that is the spinothalamic tracts. So then when there is dilatation, these tracts are compressed. Okay, so pain and temperature loss. So it is a cape like distribution. Okay, so shoulders, arms, back. So because the cervical spine, because the cervical myelopathy. Okay, this syringomyelia is a consequence of CRE1 malformation. So the cause of syringomyelia is CRE1 malformation, and CRE1 malformation is because of small positive foci. Sometimes in the acquired case, it is too much of elpitamine. Okay, and this TRE1 malformation is not that severe, so it can present late also. But TRE2 malformation, because the medulla is herniated, that is why it is very severe and it presents at birth. And the cause of TRE2 malformation is myelomeningocele. But basically, we classify any TRE malformation as 1 and 2 on the basis of anatomy. Okay,